In South Kingston, just off of Exit 8 from Route 3, you'll come across a landmark that, when it first arrived here in 1989, was an oasis for the weary traveling shopper. What was then known as the Independence Mall would serve as a middle ground shopping spot for people on the South Shore that had to either travel to Hanover or Cape Cod if they needed to go to the mall. Since that time, this place has undergone countless changes as storefronts big and small have come and gone. Now, not only does it have a new name, but a new philosophy as well. To poorly paraphrase an old cliche, this ain't your grandfather's mall. It's not even my mall. In fact, it's not a mall at all. It's a collection. And inside, rather than finding a series of random stores just for shopping, what you'll find are a lot of destination spots, the kinds of places you could take your family to and spend the day. And that's what we intend to do. Of course, there are still movie theaters and a food court. There's a Macy's down one end and a Target down the other. But what about an indoor go-kart track or a restaurant where you can actually sit in on a live cooking show? The fact that this mall has gone down this road might be a sign of things to come for malls across the country.
Retail in general has just oversaturated. It's simple economics. There's way too much supply for the amount of demand. So this happened way back when with Caldor and Bradley's and Leechmere. They were all gone. But now we've taken this concept of a mall and expanded it into, now what do? We need to offer something for everyone in one building, and that's how we're going to continue to grow and evolve in this industry.
In short, the stores that used to bring them in don't bring them in anymore. They've been replaced by locations where visitors can have a memorable experience that takes them beyond just retail. For instance, if you've got the kids but you haven't gone to the gym yet, everyone can leave happy without having to make any concessions. Just drop the kids at Billy B's, which appears to be a 21st century version of Chuck E. Cheese without the creepy robot band. For all of your exercise needs, there's a Fit Factory on the East End. The Fit Factory is a locally owned franchise with only 2 other locations, one in Braintree and one in Foxborough. Here in Kingston, you'll find 3,000 square feet filled with all the cardio, exercise machines, classes, and free weights you'll need for a solid workout. When you're done using your muscles, there's a place you can go and be a little more cerebral. Head on over to Escape the Mystery Room. For those not familiar with what goes on here, store manager Pamela Hatch explains.
We are sort of like a real live detective experience. You choose a room. We have one of 8 with different levels of difficulty. You're in there for 50 minutes. You have to find all the clues and do puzzles and codes and kind of work together as a team, think outside the box a little bit. And each room has its own themed objective depending on the game that's in play, but basically you're looking to escape the room. So we put you in, you have to get out.
The escape room concept game in fixed locations like this one first became popular at the start of the 2010s in Asia and have managed to spread pretty much around the world since. Bring your family, your friends, or just yourself. Just don't bring a video camera. Apparently that gives away the mystery, and the parent company does not like that. Now, if shopping has you ready to bounce off the walls, there's a place you can do that. Literally. Just make sure you sign the waiver first and read the rules and safety measures that you need to follow. Sky Zone is an indoor trampoline park that first got started in 2004. When this location opened here in Kingston in late 2015, it was the 108th in the world. Inside, you'll find over 100 trampolines, foam pits, trampoline basketball, and dodgeball. But for a wild, lights-out experience, swing by on a Friday night.
We do Glow Night every Friday night from 7 to 9 and from 9 to 11, and it's 2 hours of jumping with black lights on, regular lights off. We have the DJ who does dance contests and different things for prizes, as well as it's just kind of a different interactive Glow Night. We're a little bit different after dark.
Sky Zone welcomes all ages, and they make sure that groups are separated by age and size to keep things safe and fun. But maybe you prefer to keep your feet on the ground and test your athletic prowess by bowling a few frames over at pins. It's entirely possible that the Z in pins stands for pizzazz, because this place does not feel like the old brightly lit bowling alleys normally relegated to the bad side of town at the dark end of the street on the wrong side of the tracks. This place is kind of a party. The game room features the biggest game of Pac-Man I've ever seen. And of course, there are the lanes where you can have food and drinks delivered right to you. Now, if you look closely, you'll notice that the dead wood doesn't get swept away the way it does in traditional lanes. There's something different about this setup.
The pin is actually attached to a string, so every time you bowl, the string senses that that pin has been hit, and it will pull the string up, pull the pin up in by the string, and then reset the frame with the pins that are for you to hit.
Well, that sounds easy enough. Maybe this guy will have to give it a shot. To avoid embarrassment, though, I'll need my own private lanes. And since there's always music playing here, maybe the sweet sounds of Sugar Ray will bring me some luck. If you're traveling inside, you can find pins right around the halfway mark of the collection. And if you're like me and you don't want to have to walk through the entire place just to get to one spot, Pins has an outdoor entrance that you can get to from the back parking lot. It's pretty handy. Just across from Pins, you'll see this store. And if the name alone doesn't entice you, perhaps the puzzles and models at the entranceway will. Moving further into the store, you may notice that the intensity of the games increases from the Ouija boards to those designed for a more advanced audience. Well, that audience has grown immensely since the 1980s. What was the guidebook then has now become this. Players meet at tables like these, rather than the basements of yesteryear. While tabletop role-playing games used to appeal to a niche market, it has now turned into a billion-dollar industry. So if you're not playing these games, maybe you're the one on the outside. Medieval Starship hosts game nights like this each weekday night as well as weekend days.
The whole purpose of playing these games is the social component to it. You get together with your friends and you're having fun. And the game is simply the avenue by which you get together to have that fun. It can be a variety of different types of games. It can be a variety of different social settings. But the goal is to enjoy what you're doing. In a large respect, we're not selling the games, we're selling the fun and the excitement of playing the games.
And when all of this game playing has worked your appetite into a frenzy, follow your nose to the southwest end of the collection and you'll find Waxy O'Connor's, or Waxy's as it's known by the signage. It's a national chain with several locations here in Massachusetts. This store in Kingston opened in January of 2016 and features over 40 tables, some of which have taps on them. With all of the creature comforts here, it's easy to forget that you're still in a shopping mall.
We want it to be our oasis, you know, go do your shopping in the mall and then come to Waxy's to relax with a custom-made cocktail, over 61 draft beers from all over the world, with a heavy focus on the local brands.
You'll also find a nice selection of Irish whiskeys, and if you're lucky, hopefully you can grab a seat at the wraparound bar and get a glimpse at one of the dozens of flat screens up above. Not a bad way to end the day. And that ought to just about wrap things up. So thanks for taking this trip through the Kingston Collection with us. In the meantime, I think this old-fashioned Irish American is going to stick around and have a modern Irish experience. For PCN Life, I'm Brian Sullivan.